Okay, first graders, we are going to do our phonics page today. We're talking about the long I, spelled with I by itself, Y, I-G-H, that's my favorite, and I blank E. Okay, so this is your first phonics page of the week. Here it says the long I sound is the sound you hear in the middle of wild. The letters I, Y, IGH, and IE can stand for the long I sound. Find, sky, night, and tie. I'm going to actually teach you a really quick trick to know. Y sometimes likes to be an I sound and sometimes likes to pretend to be the E. How do you know which one it's going to be? Did I know right when I looked at this was sky and not ski? The reason is it's only one syllable. When the Y is acting as the vowel at the end of one syllable, then it sounds like an I. If the Y is acting as the vowel at the end of two or more syllables, then it acts like an E. So that is why we know it's sky and not ski. Okay, here the I is not by itself at the end of a syllable, but comes right before a blend. Okay, it's similar to the O in that it will sometimes say its own name before a blend. This is an example of that. IGH, you just have to know. We actually see that one quite often. It's just a funky way to do the I. You definitely don't hear a G in there at all. You could argue that you hear an H because you have some extra air in your breath. And then IE. I does not like to be by itself at the end of a word. And so oftentimes when it wants to say I and they don't want to use the Y, we see I and E working together. Okay? So looking here, it says in A, circle the long I word that completes each sentence. Write the word. The baby will blink. Okay, knowing that we want to be using the long I sound, let's look at these. C-R-Y, cry. S-I-P-S. If we treat the I like a long I, it would say sipes. The baby will cry. The baby will sipes. Which one works? Cry. So I will circle cry and I will write it carefully on the line. Now, sipes isn't a word, so I would need to change that to a short vowel, S-I-P-S with I as the vowel sound. Sips, sips, that's a word, but it doesn't go with the picture, and it doesn't use the long I. Remember, we want to use a long I word. Okay, looking at number 2. We like Blake. Remember, we want to use the long I word. Which of these words has a long I? Circle it and write it on the line. Number 3. The sun is out, so there is a lot of blank. Okay. Look for the long I. If you're not sure if one of these is a long I, try it both ways. Try it with a short and long and see which one makes sense. If it ends up being short, then we know it's not the answer because we are asking for a word with a long vowel, a long I. The sun is out, so there is a lot of blank. Which word belongs in the blank? Okay. Then down on B, it says write I, Y, IGH, or IE to complete the word that names each picture. Ooh, I see a lion. What type of animal is a lion? It's in the cat family, but is it an animal that we use as a pet? No, it is wild. It is wild. Which I spelling do you think we need for wild? Notice we have LD, a blend, here at the end. Put your I spelling in the blank. Number 5, we have a picture of a fly. Notice the I sound is at the end of the word. Which I, long I spelling do you think we'll use to complete this word? Fly. I, Y, IGH, or IE? Write it in. Okay, that's the end of this page. I hope you feel comfortable exploring the long I with us this week. Happy learning!